Okay. So we got to recap from class 3, the ultimate spelling, just like you would do with a student. Before we go on to class 4 today, which is we're going to be working on phonological awareness is fun class. It's way different than maybe you'd ever expect. So I think you're going to be happy. So anyway, let's go ahead and recap. Let me write out the word diagram. Okay, this is not letting me draw. Let me go on. Let me go back. There it is. Now it's me. So we got our word diagram. Remember, our prefix will go here, our root will go here, and our suffix will go here, and the connector will connect off of it. So let's go see what matrix we grab. Let's go grab a little bit harder matrix because they've had a lot of time with the easier ones to get to this point.
Okay.
So let's do one that has a ton of connectors here. It's not even a complete word, a root that you could go find. It has a definition that they might not be, definitely wouldn't be aware of. HAP, fortune. Let's do that. This is a good one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do the app right here. Please let me write the text. I actually do use this a good bit, I promise. Hap, and we're gonna write the meaning below, and it was something about fortune.
Yeah. I can't remember what the first
Chance
word
or
was.
chance or fortune. So when it comes to 2 words, I let them choose which one. We just want one word. We want chance or fortune, or one that they find better in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So do you choose chance, fortune, or one that's better in your mind?
I think chance. When I think of hap, I think more of chance than fortune.
That works. So it's going to mean chance. Now, our prefix is going to also help us with meaning of the word. So pick one for us. M-I-S-T-E-R or U-N?
Let's do MIS.
Okay.
Miss.
Somehow I pressed something. We got to find hap again. You see it?
There it is.
You said MIS? That's a good one. Because that is a common one. You got to be aware of which ones are common that they'll use when you try to steer them towards one.
Right.
So that's a very good one. So it's going to help us with meaning. But it didn't say the meaning on there, did it? So guess what? Let's go to the English dictionary. This is how you look it up. You do MIS dash
hap.
And it's still working.
Oh, it's like, oh, I see.
Okay, so this is how we look up our prefix. First, we have an abbreviation. Let's ignore that. And it has miss. So we're going to go for probably the first one. That one means it's probably the most common. So bad or wrong. So let's go with bad or wrong. Which one do you want for miss?
Wrong.
Wrong. Okay. I just knew you were going to choose bad, but you chose wrong.
Just throwing you off.
Well, let's not too crazy and do a connector yet, or make it with another real word. Let's just pick a normal suffix.
Yeah.
So, the only one we have available without the connector is S.
Yeah.
So that one's not going to work, but that's okay. So I know it's not going to work, but remember, we still got to prove to them, just because you add a prefix to and a suffix to root doesn't mean it's a real word. So,
right.
But we can look up now. S, remember, I don't want you to think of S as just being used for making something plural. I want you to think of S meaning it's going to help us part of speech. How is the word used best in a sentence? Do you happen to know the 4 main parts of speech? It's okay if you don't, but I can help you.
You put me on the spot,
Oh,
Trisha.
noun. Okay. That,
Noun,
noun. Verb.
adjective, verb.
There we go. Adjective. I heard you say. An
Yep.
adverb.
An adverb. You
Okay.
know?
No, no, it's okay. I tell my kids all the time, grammar is the absolute hardest. I mean, you think learning to read and spell and speak correctly is hard, add on grammar to it.
Right.
So I actually have a class for grammar too. Remember that? It's evaluative English, so that way you add color, shape, size, dimension. This is a precursor to that because we're going to add color, shape, size, dimension. Do you happen to know what a noun is? And most of my kids that are on this level do.
Yeah, so an object or a person.
Okay. Now I like to say a person, place, thing, or an idea. Does that work for you? Can we do
That
that?
works.
Okay. So the noun, let's give it a shape. Why see they got so complicated on? We're gonna give it a square. Okay, and it's gonna make me do that. Okay. I need to make it smaller. Can you see where I can make it smaller?
Um,
Move.
when you click on it, does it not give you markers just to, oh no.
No,
I don't
it's
use I don't use whiteboards, so
okay. So let's pretend this is a small square right over it.
okay.
Okay, just a little small. So now we're adding color, shape, size, dimension. And it'd be great if I chose a different color for a lot of this, but I have not. The more color you can add, the better it is for our students. Okay, so now, do you happen to know what a verb is?
An action.
It is an action, that's right. Okay, so we're gonna give it a color, a shape. We're gonna give it a circle. Now, look, I could have put the little circle over it, but whatever. Now, adjective. Actually, I'm kind of liking this. If you think about it.
Right? Yeah.
Adjective, you happen to know what an adjective is?
It describes something.
Yes. Do you think it describes a noun or a verb?
A noun.
You're correct. It describes a noun. Let's give it its own shape. Oops. I'm actually, believe it or not, good with geometry, but I did not expect that to happen. Okay. So what I was trying to make was three-sided. Right? I'm trying to make a try. Okay,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
it is. There it is. Now, adverb is what we're on. I can give you a hint if you need, or you could just tell me.
Describes a verb.
That's right. Okay, so now remember, we're not gonna worry about what it said the meaning for the suffix is. We're gonna use it to say how to use it best in a sentence. So let's go ahead and find what the suffix s means. So we do opposite, we do dash s, and that means how to use. It is a noun suffix. So that means and that's it, just the noun suffix. You'll find some suffixes to be also verb, adjective, and adverb. This one's just a noun, so that makes it easy for us. So when we use this word with the S on the end, we can only use it in the place in the part of a noun. Okay. So let's see if we have a real word. Let's put it into our word sum. We got miss plus hap plus S. How many letters does that equal?
7.
Okay. So good. We should be able to put it right into the dictionary and not have to put the actual visuals of 3, 3, and 1. But okay. So 3,
MIS
3,
HAP
and 1.
S.
Is that helping you, Cara? I just dying to know.
It is a little bit.
Attached a number to something, like if I have to go to the grocery store
Hmm.
and I have to get 5 things, if I could put that number 5, I'll remember what I need. If I don't
Right.
put the number 5, it's the same thing with letters.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
really interesting.
really but I'm not good with numbers. I never said I was good.
Right.
Okay, so guess what? Mishap is a word, but mishaps is not, because it would have given us plural version. But there we go. We can use it at least without the S. Um, which I meant to put down here. So can you put mishap into a sentence for me to help make sense?
Uh,
And
she
when you give
tripped
me,
and there was a mishap.
there we go, because and remember our prefix was wrong and then hap was chance. So yes, you're right. Say it again because I'm slow. Wait, I really am. Remember, tired,
She
hungry,
tripped.
sick, stressed.
Right.
I got a lot to do. Okay.
She tripped and there was a mishap.
She tripped and there was a mishap. Awesome. Okay. So, uh, yep, that was good. Now, this is ultimate spelling. Now I'm gonna take it away and I'm gonna ask you two things. I'm gonna ask you to give me the definition of mishap because you've already given me the sentence. Or you can give me an example. You give me an example of a mishap. No, no, no. You've already done that too. Just tell me what it means and spell it for me. Ready? I'm gonna take it away. Okay. Would you do me a favor and tell me how to spell mishap?
Mishap.
Good, good. Now, I have a question for you. What was the prefix in that word?
MIS.
Did we have a suffix?
No suffix.
Okay. You're right. You're right. So, one last thing before I go on to class 4. You're supposed to take these shapes and put them and apply them on the
Okay.
top of those. But you saw how I'm having issues, so we're not.
Yeah.
And remember to change the colors up on all of this.
Hmm.
But let's go to this and see what we were missing real fast. This diagram, there's our matrix, there's our diagram, no biggie. Look, when it this is when I could use the shapes correctly and they're on top here. I've circled the type it was noun and when you had said everything and what everything means,
Right.
but I didn't go into all that because I would need the shapes for it.
Right.
Let's see how I wrote the sentence down here. Yeah. So, okay, so let's go to class 4. I think I'm excited about this. I want you to think about the phonological awareness continuum. Remember, we're all phonologically deficit.
Hmm.
Def, you know what I'm worth. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Awareness. It's basically phonological awareness is being able to manipulate sounds. But before you can manipulate sounds on the phonological awareness continuum, should always be language and listening. So that one's wrong.
Okay.
So, but a lot of them are right. Say wrong, but there are ones gonna say language and listening because it literally is language and listening. Um, there's one with listening. Thank you, God. So now, because listening is not natural for the brain
Right.
at this age, then, and your auditory processing won't even mature until like 14.
Okay.
And then even at that age, becoming egocentric and they don't want to hear you and they shut you off anyway when it starts to finally catch up with their development and
Right.
being able to auditory process. So listening is not natural. It has to be taught. And so I include before we get any kind of rhyme and rhythm and all of
Hmm.
this onset stuff, and you see that most in class 1 anyway. a lot of this emphasis that I'm doing on my class is phonological awareness, is language and listening
Yeah.
and word imaging. Okay, because if you can't image a word, how are you ever going to be able to say what the word is that you're trying to get out or be able to spell it? You just tell me that right now. You can't. You
You
got
can't.
or image learner.
Because I can't visualize words.
No, and what's so crazy is I have a word pop in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta interpret this visual image. That's like, okay. Oh, that, and then I have to hold the first sentence. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's where all the stuttering comes from. But anyway, so this so think about, remember, all the kids that I work with are 7 and above. So I'll skip class. This is an enrichment class. I'll skip it unless they let me have another extra day with them.
Okay.
And if they're under 7, you better believe I'll be doing the
Right.
phonological awareness class with them. Okay, so most kids are most kids that we work with are right brain dominant because of the deficit on the left, and they haven't learned to rewire their brain yet and be able to use both sides equally, and that's our job. So in the right brain is a care, it's a concern for people, animals, and nature. Now remember, environmentally, we could be upset with people. So then you're like, I don't like people, I'm dyslexic. No, your nature is that you like people. It's just your environment had you not caring for people because
Okay.
they were ugly to you. Now, so with that being said, I'm going to go by your interest, which is people, animals, or nature. Which one do you want me to look up first for the images?
Let's go with animals.
Ah, that's the number one choice by kids.
Makes
I love
sense.
this class. Okay. Now, I have in Quizlet some set images of people, animals, and nature, but that doesn't appeal to my kids. I put like 100 of them. The only way to do this is to go outside of Quizlet. But if you didn't feel like it, we'll go to Quizlet. But okay, so tell me which one attracts you, which one you want to look
Mm, let's look at the monkey.
at. Oh, so cute. Look at that. Anyway, I gotta tell you, you are a child and I am an adult, and we stop to look at details, fine details, because we know what we'll be looking for. But you will be able to find details in this picture that I will never be able to notice. Can you tell me 2 things you notice in this picture
Mm,
that I will never notice because I'm old?
big eyes.
Okay, well, actually, I noticed that. Can we notice something else,
Mm,
like, going on with the eyes? I'm gonna really fine detail only kids can notice. Is there a different color on there? Is it like a stripe?
brown eyes.
Remember, kids would say this little red streak because they
Oh, okay.
understand that. Okay. So anyway, we'll go with brown eyes. So, okay, tell me another detail that you noticed about this picture.
Mm, fuzzy ears.
He sure does. Look at that. Oh my God. Okay. So let me say back to you the 2 details that you told me. He's got brown eyes and he's got fuzzy ears. Okay, so I'm going to take this picture away, and I want you to use those 2 details to get this picture of this monkey into your mind. Okay, so I don't know if you know how to do that, but guess what? You probably do it all the time. Get images imaged into your mind. So, so what I have to do is close my eyes. Kids don't have to close their eyes to do it. They can be looking right at me and be able to image stuff. For me as an adult, we forget how our mind is so important, and we just start to lose our concept of things. So I have to close my eyes to really concentrate to get this back in my mind. So you can keep your eyes open and see how you're doing on your mind, being able to do that with your eyes open. But okay, so tell me when you got the image in your mind of the same monkey, and I'm going to remind you the details. It's got brown eyes. He's got fuzzy ears. I mean, when he's there.
Okay.
Wow, he's there. So if you're looking at him, tell me what color is his fur on the rest of his body?
Black.
Okay. Are you looking into your mind for sure? Are you looking at him?
Yes.
Let's look again. No, he's more
Brown.
like brown. Yeah. So you might do some mind work and get you trusting your mind again as an adult. So kids trust their minds more than we do because we haven't had an outside environments to tell us otherwise. But some start to lose it when they've had people tell them, "You're not smart. Why did you write this that way?" Blah blah blah. Then they start to lose their trust in their mind. But no child would have said black. They would have all said brown. They get it right every time. They look into their
Interesting.
mind. I know it's so many interesting things that I've learned from them. They can concentrate on the background where we know what we're focused on, so we
Hmm.
don't they'll say something in the background. I'm like, what? Where? So many things they've taught me with this. Okay. So we do another picture after that. We do it
Mhm.
twice. And then I take it away and I say, you know what? You've got good picture imaging. So you can go to your mind anytime you need to find something out. That is really cool, isn't it? And was it easy for you to get that picture into your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to do the same thing with words. We have to have words into our mind, just like that. Now, Farah, before I go into the word part, there are kids that can't tell me the details sometimes because they
Hmm.
can't get the language out.
Right.
So I try to work their language to say, I know what they're talking about or
Hmm.
referencing. And they'll sometimes I have ones that have hearts just like pointing at the screen. I can't see your screen.
Right.
I have to get the word.
Oh, that's my life every day. Teaching ESL, so much pointing at the screen that I'm
And
like,
so getting the words out. So I've seen over doing this over and over, and they do left shoulder. I mean, they start to increase the amount of
yeah.
words that they can use to describe. But because I've facilitated that. Okay, so when we look at the words, hold on. I use sight words for this because this is not a class that's meant for any manipulating of sounds because that's class one. Remember, I said this
Okay.
is mostly of language and
Right.
listening to your mind. So,
Right.
okay, so I use sight words for this. Plus, I need sight word development. And
Yeah.
Montessori, when you reach 50 sight words, you can start on phonetics.
Okay.
That's just Montessori. I'm
Yeah.
with their brain on how are they whole picture or part to whole.
Right.
And most of mine are whole picture, so they do well with sight words. So I leave it to the parents to work on
Okay.
sight words. So this isn't even about the sight words, but I use sight
It's you
words with
use them.
this.
Got it. That makes sense.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is read these sight words for me. And your mom told me you're great at sight words, unless it's visual processing. I forgot the part. If it's
Right.
majority visual processing, they have harder time with sight words, it says. But pretend like
Okay.
you're just typical auditory majority, like I am auditory majority,
Yeah.
and read this correctly.
Play.
Okay, next one. Go quick for a little bit.
Open. Sing.
Okay, start to go wrong
Only.
right here. Okay, go long
Okay.
right here. Okay, so you say what? You say um
Only.
it's a phonetic.
Oh
You read
my.
it phonetically. That's good. Um, so let me help you out with this word here. Okay. So here we go to add color, shape, size, dimension.
Okay.
Now, I don't tell them what the word says yet. Very important that I don't correct them or tell them what the word is yet until I've written it out. I'm gonna let them observe the word first, just like we observe the picture. Okay. Without worrying about what it means at all. So I want you to notice something about this word. I noticed you notice things that I don't even notice. Use your imagination if you need. So tell me 2 things about this word. Okay, I'll help you out. We've done this a lot. When we have 2 tall letters and 2 short letters at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, so we got 2 short and then 2 tall. How about that? Now, also I said you can use your imagination if you need. So I'll help you with that. The O says, "Come on, guys, let's go to the pool." The other ones say, "No." So then that's the type of things my kids use. Okay.
Okay.
So they're imagining the O as the leader and the other 3 are like, nah, the N, L, and Y are like, nah. Okay. So that's the story. Now I say to them, that's a good detail. I like your story that you made up. Now I'm going to give it extra detail too. My extra detail is always how many letters. There you see this underlying how many letters, how many sounds throughout the whole program. Sound word knowledge. It's what makes them word conscious and it's missed by everybody. So yeah, 4 letters is my detail. Okay, so it might be hard for you to get this word image in your mind, but you did really well with that monkey. I want you to try. Use our 2 details, at least, and your story. 2 short letters, 2 tall letters, and there's 4 altogether. Ready? Tell me when it's in your mind. You might have to draw it into your mind, like imagine yourself drawing it, because I'm old, that seems to help me. I just drew it in my mind.
Oh my gosh, Trisha, you are
What?
challenging me here. This is
Well,
where I
good. This is where
struggle. Okay.
I'm notating that, Cara.
I just had a
Somebody that
conversation
doesn't have
with my
word
husband.
imaging, or picture imaging, or I can help you.
um,
Just like I said, this is
okay.
good though. Close your eyes and you can imagine. Can you imagine yourself drawing the 4 letters?
It's a really nice blank space in my head right now.
There's a name for that. Okay, so anyway, let's look at it
So
again
a
then.
kid would normally be able to do this. I cannot.
No, a majority of my students, and I always knew that you weren't like a majority of my students. We'll talk about that later. Okay, seriously. Now, I'm just gonna have to model as so with and rarely did my students be able to do that. And then if they don't, I bring it up one more time again,
Okay.
and then I add the meaning if I have what it says.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's pretend like you're one of the students like that. So I say, okay, it's okay. We'll just look at the word again. It's ONLY, and it says only, like I'm an only child. Okay, so I'm gonna take it away. Remember, 2 short letters, O and N, 2 tall letters, L and Y. Okay, so I'm gonna take it away. Let's see how you do. Okay. Oh my goodness. I just forgot this. I've given you a hard time because I know how your brain is. I just haven't told you because you never specifically asked me before. But when I first started, I couldn't image the word either. I just totally forgot. So this is totally normal too.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. You looked at it and you said ONLY, and I said, yes, let's look at it. Yes, it's ONLY. You got it. So you image the word, okay? So it's the same thing. I do 3 of them. So you're
Mhm.
gonna mess up again on said. Definitely
Okay.
gonna mess up again on said.
Right.
Do the
That's
same exact thing.
Mhm.
Okay, and then we go again. Let me find one that you're gonna mess up on. Some. Okay, so then we got our 3 words. Okay,
Okay.
so then at the end, I can say, what was this word again? And they say some.
Mhm.
I say, what is this word again? And they say said. And I said, what is this word again? And they said, I forgot. Then you go,
Okay.
okay, then let's go through it. I might be able to go through it again. Sometimes I'm not able to go through it again. If not, I send it to the parent.
Okay.
All 3. So guess what? I've seen it work where it works on sight words because they're able to image the word and it rolls over to, believe it or not, phonetic words too. So it's
Okay.
really awesome that Okay. So if I have time after that, because remember, these sessions are definitely only 30 minutes. I never
Right.
have a 12 and above who gets 45 minutes to use this class. So it's only 30 minutes, but if I have time, sorry, I didn't know that was open. Let's see. No, it's, yeah, I'll go here. It doesn't matter. I go to the link here for the first class and I do, because I never have time. I'm just showing you if I had time. You could do a picture to picture matching, a picture to word matching, or word to word, but I do a word to picture matching because you can, in this program, you can do rhyming.
Okay.
You can search for literally anything, Minecraft, anything. So I do rhyming. And we do that. And so there we go. So what I want to say too before we leave, because we're going to actually have time to go into poetry unless you have something you have to do.
I mean, not until
10:30.
8:30. So I have a class at 8:30, but
Might as well go into poetry. Because it kind of is an extension of all that. Before I do that, let me tell you that first class, that one that's the absolute most important of all, I want to tell you how it has phonological awareness in it real fast.
okay.
A lot of ways. Actually, let me not do it with the phonemes. Let me do it with the blends. So remember, it's a mixture of majority nonsense words and then regular words. But this one has a lot, I believe it or not. So just say that one right. Say drop.
Drop.
Next one, get wrong.
Drat.
Okay. So drap. Yeah, okay. So, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to show you this. So it has a whole bunch of phonological. Remember, phonological awareness is language and listening and then manipulating a lot of the sounds.
Mhm.
Okay, so I say, you said drap. Okay, so if let's try it again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, but it's 3 sounds. 1, 2, 3. Dr, ah,
Ah,
good.
g.
Drag is what we heard. Now, you had said drap, though. So if it's drap, what letter would it been here?
P.
Yes, drap. Good. So I do a lot of that into the
Yeah.
first class. Okay. And I sure hope I had shown you all that before. I mean, there's so many different components where you follow the child, and it's so extensive that
Right.
I think people naturally would do that. You know, they'd say, "Oh, the child said drap. Let me
right.
that phoneme manipulation." I don't know. But anyway, okay, let's go to, oh, okay, I'm excited. Let's go to poetry, and then we just have that into the first one. Because it's also an extension class. It's called Coat of Many Colors. The main thing is I would shake every time I went to write, literally.
Mhm.
So that was a lot of that trigger of anger and shame with writing, you know, all those red marks I had, all those clarify more with this, or it's not making sense. I have dysgraphia, okay?
Right.
So anyway, um, the thing is, so when I was an adult, I was still shaking and writing. I found free verse poetry. I found I was actually free for the first time. And it has list form thinking, which we have. We don't speak in or think in phrases or sentences. We've only been I mean, phrases, of course we do, because sentences we and put them, string them together. People just made us do that.
Right.
We think in lists. So when I discovered free verse poetry, it made me a whole new person. And it really went with my imagination and creative side, and I discovered all of that. So I have a deep love for poetry, especially free verse, because the natural elements of traditional poetry and such figurative language like rhyming, alliteration, onomatopoeia will come out naturally. I'm not
Okay.
forcing them, and the set rhyme, meter, and pattern will come out. I'm not forcing or telling them they have to do it. I just pick it out from their natural
Right.
verse writing. So start the class. If they're older, I explain about my anxiety with writing, that this helped for me. And I
Mhm.
know it's going to help for them. And I know it's going to help for you, Cara, if you're not a big writer. Because I've even written short stories, essays, a whole program since then. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want people, animals, or nature again?
Let's do nature this time.
Mm, Speaking of which, whatever you want to heal is going to come out with your poetry, because I'm going to know what your mind is saying it needs to help with. Because that's why you're drawn to a certain picture. Just FYI on that.
Interesting.
I know. Because this is what it does to heal it. So pick a picture that appeals to you.
Let's pick.
You don't have to.
Let's pick the one with the mountains. Oh, actually, no. Go down one more. The middle one. That one there.
Speaking
That
of
one.
which, in that first that phonological awareness, they would be like, that one, that, all that. Yeah,
Right.
the middle. I was so proud of you. Okay, so that's the first class. That's that class earlier. But okay. Ooh, this is good. I see lots of detail in this. You're gonna see something in it that I don't even notice. Can you tell me 2 details on this?
um, the There's so many details. Pick two, Kara.
2 details of things I won't notice.
The moss on the ground.
Ooh, notice that. Lost my mind. What else?
Um, and the the like the light right at the very end.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And there's light on the very end. Same thing as before. I'm gonna take it away. I want you to image that in your mind and tell me when it's there using the 2 details. Okay, if you're having a hard time, we can look at the picture again.
Yep.
Okay, you go ahead and look at it again. Now I want you to look at it longer. Sometimes you just have to look at it longer and study it. Look at the colors. Look at the way the path moves.
Okay.
Okay, I'm taking it away. Same thing. Tell me when it's back into your mind.
All right.
Okay.
Can see.
So you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on to your poetry book that we're gonna be making. And you tell me if it looked like this. Did it look like that?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, good. That means you did have it back. Okay. So, a good writer is going to get an image in the reader's mind using their words. Okay. So I heard you say was there's moss in the ground. There's light in the back. So you've already said some really, really good words that's going to help your reader. So again, a good author, if you take it away, they should be able to image the same thing that they're saying that you had said and you're saying in your mind. Are you still saying in your mind?
Yes.
Okay. That brings me to my other point. A good author can hold an image in their mind and continue with the story. Before they leave the story, they can come back to that same image. So, speaking of which, let's let's write down those words you had told me that were so wonderful. What was that first detail you gave me?
Moss on the ground.
Okay, second detail.
And light at the end.
Okay, so we're talking about the moss and the light at the end. You know what? As a reader, I think I'm already getting some of the image back into my mind. So that was really good wording that you used. That's called vivid imagery. So you gave me vivid imagery type words that really helped me. But let's cheat and get that back into our picture so we can write some more now. Okay, so it's actually kind of dark, isn't it? Should we try a different color for this? What color do you think we should use?
Let's use yellow. I think yellow might blend in too. I don't know.
Yeah, let's check it out. Maybe if we put it up
There we
here.
go. That's better.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's use your sense of sight and tell me what else do you see in this picture that could go? Because you have 2 verses. We need maybe do 2 more verses.
A long curving path.
Ooh, oh, I like that word curving. Okay, so again, looking at our format, we're going to try for another. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. You're starting to format. See, this is the natural formatting that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, pattern actually, natural patterning. So tell me another one, something you see.
A tunnel of trees.
Ooh, that's good imagery. And do we have 4 words?
Yes.
Ah, we think we can go for one more stanza that's going to have 2 verses in it.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Try it.
Bright green leaves. That's not 4 words.
Bright green leaves. Let's try to say bright green something else leaves.
Bright green.
Hanging leaves or
Yeah, hanging leaves. That works.
okay. So, okay, let me just tell you. If it is a last stanza, you can change the pattern to something surprising because you can always have the last stanza to be something that nobody's going to expect. So that means we can't write more on this if we do this, but we could do that.
Yeah.
It's wanting me to do that. I'm not wanting to do that. Or I just thought about this. We can have another stanza that looks like this, and we can put it up here. So then it's like that, and then that's matching that. So depends on if you want to end with this one or not, because this is incredible for somebody's first time ever writing poetry.
Think we'll just leave it at that.
I like it. Okay. So we need to get
Yeah.
you your own signature. Let's look at the different options. Since you're now a poet. Now, I always like that one, but you could do whatever you want. Let's see. Which one do you like?
I like the one that says I love you.
Aw. Okay, where is it?
Down at the bottom. The
This
kind
one?
of the
This one?
pink one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that one a lot. All right, my new favorite. Let's do your name in this. Does this look good?
Yeah.
Actually, we could do love Kara on all of yours, so it's even like different than everybody else in the world. You want to keep love or you want to get rid of love? Love Kara on all your
Let's
posts.
keep it love. That's
Like
nice.
that. Write your own specific signature love Kara. Okay. It's too big though. Let's make it smaller if you agree.
Yeah.
And what about keeping it with like that, where it's not like it just because
Yeah.
everybody in the world says you have to have your name with a capital letter, like this.
Perfect.
Yay. Now we're gonna keep it pink, and where are we gonna place it?
Let's place it on
Also,
the like to the right of the end of the words. Yeah. A little
ooh,
closer to it. Yeah, there we go.
good idea. Now are we gonna keep it pink?
No, let's make it blue.
Ooh. Or different color blue? A different color blue? Look, watch. We got 10 million color blues. And it's not changing.
Doesn't
Uh,
like blue.
it does not like blue. That is
And we
crazy.
can keep it pink.
Okay, let's keep it pink. Okay, now I'm going to teach you a couple of other things real fast. When you read poetry, you're not allowed to ever say it just boring. Poetry is not meant to be read boring. Moss on the ground, light at the end. No. Can I model to you how poetry actually needs to be read? You should
Yes.
read this too. And then you're going to practice with your mom too and whoever else. Here we go. It needs to be read like this. Moss on the ground, light at the end. A long curving path, tunnel of trees, bright green hanging leaves.
I made it rhyme and I didn't even try.
Oh, you won't. It's a figurative language, and so that's natural for you, Car. So I would do it more in your poetry if you can, and if you can't, that's okay too. But that's part of figurative language, and that's really good to the ears. Isn't it? Trees, leaves. So where they are in the process, if it's the beginning class, I wouldn't add other rhyming because now
Right.
I've found out they can do rhyming. I wouldn't
Right.
force it or anything. But later on, yes. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you did it here. Let's try it with these
Right.
two stanzas, And this is, oh, look, this is doing A, B, C, all of that. But that
Right.
comes a lot later. But you're
Yeah.
lucky that you even did any because, yeah. So, okay. So guess what? It's your turn. I wanted to hear you read your poetry. You got to read it really, really cool.
All right. Moss on the ground. Light at the end. A long, curving path. A tunnel of trees. Bright, green, hanging leaves.
Now, if I were to take it away, you think you'd be able to image it back into your mind? I'm gonna read it to you again. Moss on the ground, light at the end, a long curving path, a tunnel of trees, bright green leaves, bright green hanging leaves. Do you think you could have gotten that image into your mind?
Yes.
Well, then you did it. That's what your reader needs. They need that image in their mind, okay, to tell a story. Now, one last thing, because we have 3 minutes. I remind them again that I had a lot of anxiousness and anxiety over my writing. But also, when people would tell me that my writing that I discovered that I could do was not was good, I wouldn't accept their compliment.
Mhm.
I know, because maybe I didn't believe what they're saying was true. I didn't believe in myself at that time.
Right.
Actually, it was like a year or two later that I healed all that. But so I was actually writing poetry. My brain was telling me I needed to heal something. And it was using
Mhm.
that creative outlet to do, and it opened up a whole new realm. But anyway, so I don't say all that to the kids. But anyway, I say, I'm gonna get you to start accepting compliments from people. Do you mind if I do that? I'm gonna tell you
Let's do
2
that.
I'm gonna say something about your poetry that I like, and I want you to say thank you or anything else, okay? That's along those lines of accepting. I like most thing I like about it is when you said moss on the ground, I started way down at the bottom. Then we were going higher and higher until we got to the tree. So it's like I was working my way up in my image that you were giving me. And so that really helped me to get that picture in mind that I like to have when I read. So thank you for doing that. I don't even know if you were aware that you did it. It was really cool.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm really proud of you for saying thank you. And then this is actually an enrichment class, like
Mhm.
along with the phonological awareness class. So they can I take it with the groups of kids.
Okay.
So they're gonna hear compliments from other kids and they're gonna compliment each other's.
Right.
Okay, well I got a class now, Cara. See you later.
Me too.
Bye. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.